Let's go to work. Axles up next. Alright guys, welcome back to another episode. So today the job I have in line is a passenger side CV axle replacement and what I initially thought was a control arm actually turns out to be some sway bar end links. This one's completely trashed, completely off of the bowl and socket, so that's gonna come off. This job is going to entail disconnecting the outer tie rod from the knuckle, loosening the ball joint from behind, and then we're going to be popping out the control arm. So I'm going to be pretty much minimal in how depth camera angle I have here, but what I will do is I will time lapse you through most of the process, and then when we get up to key points, I'll bring you. So this is going to be a 32 millimeter axle nut. If you don't have an impact gun while the wheel is on the ground, you can get body pressure onto the car, not fully, but slightly, just enough so the wheel won't move, and get a breaker bar put onto your socket and then break it loose, and then you'll be able to walk it off. Now you're going to want to double check with your specifications or someone who knows. You can look up in forums. Typically these are maybe a 2 to 3 times removal and reinstall nut. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take out the retainer bolts for the inner portion of the axle. Those are going to be 13 millimeter nuts. So you can get a good look in there. You see that top flange right there? Right here is that one, and then there's another one right below it, which is kind of a little too dark. But you see where my finger is? That's the other one. Alright, for that bottom one, you're going to need an extension to give you a little bit of clearance. So I just broke those free. They're not all the way off yet. All right, so I got everything taken off with the pinch bolt for the lower control on ball joint. As an 18 millimeter on the nut side and on the head bolt side. You have to hold one side down, a wrench, and then the other side, impact gun, breaker bar, whatever you got, and spin off the nut on the back end. You're definitely gonna have to get something like maybe a large screwdriver, a drive pinch, something with a flat head to squeeze in between the I'm not sure how well you can see that, but the lip right here that you're gonna have to get to. Let me see if I can get you some better light to show you. So you see that little lip right there, and then next to the hole of the ball joint, you're gonna have to get something in there to wedge that open and then push down on the control arm, and then the ball joint will pop out, allowing you to get a little bit of clearance room. So it was a little bit of a battle. That thing was pretty well rusted. Looks like it hasn't been serviced in a while. So next step is going to be popping this out. So I'm going to take off those two bolts that I mentioned to you before that hold the CV to the bracket, the 13 millimeters. I'm going to finish taking those out, and then hopefully, wish me luck, we should be good. Okay, you filthy animals, after about 45 minutes of hammering away, I finally got this sumbitch out. This is the inner half of your shaft. This is the front half. I opened it up, it fell apart. So, as you can tell, this portion right here is severely rusted. It's really wet right now because I doused it in lubricant, and because I didn't have the right tool, I had to hammer at it from the rear end. You see how destroyed the inner seal of that bearing is all the way around. So since this was short notice and I was not able to order the tool that I needed, I will let you know what it is right now, and I will link it into the description. It is an inner CV joint fork connected to a slide hammer. All right, so that's basically all that is. It probably would have made this job about 20 times easier. I probably already would have had the axle out by now, but it is what it is. So now I'm going to clean the seat area. Let's see if I can get you a better spot. So right here where the hole is. Yeah. So I'm gonna clean that up with some brake fluid. If you have some sandpaper to smoothen it out, that would go great, which I do not, but I think I have a small Dremel. So actually that looks pretty good. Yeah, so I'm just gonna wet this down clean it out. And for the future, make sure you have some anti-seize lubricant, copper base or otherwise, to make sure that the mating surface doesn't seize up on you like what happened to me. So as you're sliding this in, you want to make sure that you have it supported until you get it routed in. I'm going to go underneath the car to guide the rest of it in place. So that's lined up. I'm going to put this on so I don't damage the threads. And so this is going to have to be coaxed in. Dead blow hammer. So yeah, this is probably one of the hardest CV axles I've had to do. So let me work on this and I'll be right back.
2 hours later.
All right, for the continuation, we're back. So the axle is fully seated. There is a lip inside of the bracket that you want to make sure that the back of the bearing is all the way up against. All right, and so if you're not sure, you can go underneath the car, around to the back side with the flashlight, right in front of the downpipe of the exhaust, and then you can see the opening on the back end. Let me see. You know what? Let me do one better and show you. Come on, man, with a magical adventure. See. Alright. Let's get some light up on the situation. Alright. Alright. So So you see right there, that's your axle, all right? And then right up in here, there's a lip, okay? So it should be flush against that lip. You shouldn't be able to get your finger in it all right? So this is the angle. It's kind of tight. It's right here behind the exhaust flange. So you get in there, you can tell just from looking up in here that it's flush. All right. And then it's the reverse steps of how you took everything off. Make sure you torque everything down to 130 foot-pounds. All right, so I'm gonna finish this up and I'm gonna kill myself. Wrench Daily.